Hello, Terry. Good Monday to you.
Good morning to you too. Good Monday to you also.
Yes, these late scratches and switcheroos, screw us up all the time, Terry. Do
They
they not?
do, they do. And a lot of times Parks will do three sections of scratches. And a lot of times they're right before our show. So
Yeah, they really mess us up. And then I forgot to do something real quick. So tell me a little bit about your weekend. What did you do?
well, let's see. On yesterday, my sister's here visiting from Southern California, so we all met with my other two siblings and both my kids, and then one of my sister's kid. We all met to have dinner at Cattleman's, so that was kind of fun.
Yeah, for
Uh,
all of us that don't know what Cattleman's is, what is that?
it's a steakhouse, but it's a chain, but they
Uh
do a
huh.
pretty good job of doing the steaks and that, and they're pretty reasonably priced. So it was really a nice time. Really enjoyed it. The only negative thing is it's an hour away for us, so we had to drive an hour there for a 2 hour dinner and then an hour back. So, but that's
Yeah, that
okay.
that
We don't
happens
mind.
sometimes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we don't mind.
So we're a little bit behind schedule today. We're going to go to Parks today because of those late scratches, like Terry mentioned. They come, at the last few seconds, and then the funny thing is they always screw up our pick fours and pick fives, right? So we got to
Yeah,
reorder those, and it makes it a little bit interesting sometimes.
it's true. Yeah.
All right. So today, like I said, we're gonna do Parks. Let's hold on. I'm trying to bring up my worksheet, Terry, that I create all the time because
Okay.
I forgot to do that in my haste to get everything else done. So let's see if indeed we can get that up in here. Before we do that, let's go ahead and talk about tonight. Great. I did something really screwy. Tonight, we're going to be back to Horse Center, Sean and I, at 8 p.m. Eastern. To make sure you join us and jockey Erica Murray, you're going to want to tune in at 8 p.m. Eastern. The best way to do that is make sure you click on the subscribe button while you're here on YouTube. Please like us because we're only a couple of thousand or subscribe. Yeah, subscribe. There's only a couple thousand, a couple hundred away from 2,000, Terry. So I'm looking forward to that. It'll be nice to get there. We appreciate your support. And then let me just click this around one more time. There we go. And then we'll be ready to go in 2 seconds. And then she'll join us tonight. It'll be a lot of fun. We have a very good week as always. We'll be looking forward to having, I think it's all jockey week, Sean said. So that's going to be a big plus. All right, one last thing and away we go, folks. I promise that I have it maybe squared away now. I don't
Okay.
know. I doubt it, but we'll find out in 1 second, Terry. All right, I think I do. I think I do. I think I do. Therefore, I do. I do. I think
All
that's a
right.
philosophical saying somewhere. No.
Yep.
All right, race number one, finally at Parx, Terry. Here we go. Race number one at Parx. It is a 6.5 furlong, claiming $10,000 race. A 6.5 furlongs so far at the year. They've run a whole bunch of them, 147, 90 of which were won by early speed types. 47 went wire to wire. There is a little bit of a rail bias here, Terry. Everything else plays kind of fair. Let's take a real quick gander at the last second loaded pace worksheet, Terry. We see here
Okay.
that all have pretty similar early pace numbers. So I expect that you're going to see pretty good jump out of the gate, although none of them are traditional front runners, the closest being the 6 horse. That's why he squared off. He is one that can get to the lead, but also can sit right off the lead. The 2 horse is the first left arrow horse of the day. You see that he also has some good late pace numbers. The 3 has the best late pace numbers, but the 1 has the best combination of early pace and late pace. There's a huge favorite in this race, Terry. That is that left arrow horse. I didn't know when I did my handicapping he'd be that case, but take us away for your first picks for this Monday.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to try to beat that heavy favorite with the number three, Hazam. He won his last race at Parks Racing, has a trainer who wins 50% of the time with claim repeaters. Then I like number five, Put the Glass Down. I think that's probably going to be the favorite or one of the favorites.
Mm.
He switches to a high percentage winning trainer, switches to high percentage winning jockey, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Then I like number two, The Big Bluff. He won his last race at Parks Racing and has a trainer and a jockey combination who, in the last 14 days, they've won 3 out of 4 races, which is pretty darn good.
Mhm.
And then number 6, my 4th pick, Decology. He ran second in his last race, has the highest last speed rating, should improve at this shorter distance. And his trainer wins 21% of the time in the second race after claiming a horse.
All right, for me, Terry, in race number 1, I'm going to go with the 2-horse. I didn't intend for him to be a big favorite. Was a left arrow horse, coming off a win where he ran better fractions at 7 furlongs and 6 furlongs. Put the Glass Down is the second choice for me as well. Terry, claim Blast Out. Trainer Michael Pino hits at 20% off the claim. 1, 2, or 3 with jockey Michael Sanchez, and together they've combined for $3.20 return on your investment. So real fat profits. Number 3, Hizam does have the top late pace figure and is a fan of the distance, where he has 3 wins in a second in 5 races. Did run some better 2 and 4 furlong pace numbers in his last race, which can be an indication of a horse on the upswing. And then finally, Decology should be the pace setter, but I think, as we mentioned at the top of the pace worksheet, they're likely to have a lot of company. Making his second start off the claim for trainer Joseph Taylor, it's a 22% winning angle, but the horse has tried the distance 3 times, Terry, and has as many wins at 6.5 furlongs as you and I do. And that number is 0. Charles points out that made some money at Golden Gate with the 3-post bias on the Tapeta track. Look for it this weekend as well, with solid angle for this bias player.
Sounds great.
It's also going to be because I already scheduled it out, the free track of the weekend, free track of Friday at Guaranteed Tip Sheet, but we'll get into the free track of that a little later on. Race 2, as we try to muscle our way through this card, Terry, because of our slow start, 6 furlongs, or late start anyway. Optional claiming $16,000. So far, they've run a symmetrical 222 races. So the twos come together in the year 2022, 153 of which were in the first 3 at the first call. 75 went wire to wire. There is a rail penalty, something we talk about every single time we do 6 furlong Parx races. Everything else plays kind of fair. Our pace worksheet for race number 2, we find that, again, we have some similarities here. The 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5 all have some similar late pace, early pace combinations. The 6-horse in a field that has a lot of, looks like, potential early speed, likely to be the speed of the speed, and also has a plus early pace, late pace advantage over the 2, 3, and 4. And the 2-horse is kind of an interesting spot. Here you got speed horses and closers, and this one sits right in the middle. So if these guys go too fast, could run by before these can catch up. Terry, tell us about your picks, and then we'll walk through my box it up.
All right. I like number 5, Last Minute Mario. He ran 3rd versus Similar in his last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer, and his early speed style will help his running chances. So number 4 is my second pick, Dixie Cannonball. He tried turf and did not like it, so he should improve while returning to the dirt, and has a jockey in the last 7 days, been in the money 10 out of 14 times, winning 4 of those. Then I like number 6 is my 3rd pick, Muttley. He finished 3rd versus Similar in his last race at Parx Racing. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. He has a high percentage winning trainer who in the last 14 days has won 2 out of 5 starts. And then number 7, Battle of Berlin. He drops in class today and has a high percentage winning jockey.
Hoggett, he's talking about race number 2. That's why we have it down in the bottom here, race number 2. I try to make sure that that's timely. Sometimes I miss the button as we move across, but if you pay attention to the race number right below Terry's beautiful face, you will see right now you'll see the race number. So make sure you check that out. Muttley was a cartoon character, but he looks best today in race number 2. Yeah, Muttley was a cartoon character. I just don't remember what cartoon that is, though. Maybe you can remember, Terry Charles. I don't remember.
I don't.
I do remember the cartoon, though. All right, so this is going to be my box it up in race number 2. Hopefully, I got this right. I agree with Mr. Charles. Muttley isn't going to be Muttley today. He is going to. Well, I'm not usually a fan of the maiden claiming risers, but I think this one's likely to be the pilot with some of the best late legs in the field. And as I did mention, does have the best early pace, late pace combination, but also gets a weight break today, which I think is beneficial. Number 5, Last Minute Mario If the 6 isn't on the lead, then last minute Mario will be on the lead. I think this one's likely to show some improvement in race number 2 off the sidelines. Did run some faster fractions at 2 and 4 furlongs in its last race. And it's another one that'll be carrying a little bit of a lighter load today. Number 3, Mighty Touch, track dropper from Gulfstream Park, has a late pace advantage over the rest of the field and did manage to run the top last race speed figure last time out. It's been off since February. The works are consistent, but so far. And then finally, number 7, Battle of Berlin, is dropping down in class. If the horse can run back to its debut, it can get the score here. This one's been off since March, and the works are a little bit on the slow side. Not a big fan of slow works, Terry, but I think those are the 4 best horses in that race, and hopefully they can combine for an exacta, trifecta, or superfecta in a box. Race 3 in the next card is 6.5 furlongs, claiming 10,000. Non-uniters winner was a 1 in a year, $26,000 purse. Our pace worksheet for race number 3. We see here that, again, this is some pretty odd shaped fields today, Terry. In here, you don't really see classic early pace up in here. Nothing that goes in there. The 2 horse, being the lone pressure horse, does have a plus early pace number at 4 furlongs. So he just has to run another 2.5 furlongs to make himself the winner. The 7 is the lone PC horse. So I think he's probably going to tag along with the 2. Maybe the 6 horse is going to go in there too. Another left arrow horse, probably going to be fighting with the 7 for the co-pilot spot. And then it does have the top early and late pace combination in the field. So I think this race is one that I don't expect it to go all that fast, Terry, based upon the potential race shape. What do you think?
All right. Well, I kind of agree with you, but I like number 5, Political. He won his last race at Parx Racing, has the highest last race speed rating, switches to a high percentage winning trainer, and that trainer has finished in the money in 5 out of 7 starts, winning 3 of those. Then I like number 6 as my second pick, Off the Meds. He finished 3rd versus similar in his last race and has a high percentage winning trainer. I like number 2 as my 3rd pick, Assad. He won his last race at Parx Racing, has a trainer who wins 20% of the time when moving a horse up 2 classes. And then number 4, Tactical Plan. His best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, and he has a trainer who wins 18% of the time when taking a horse from a route to a sprint.
Off the Meds is my top choice in race number 3. Sometimes that's what people say about me, even though I'm not on it yet, but I probably could use some. I'm sure the folks who play golf with me would agree. Anyway, Off the Meds is a left arrow horse, as I mentioned. Did show better fractions last time out at 2 furlongs, 4 furlongs, and 6 furlongs. That was in a 7 furlong race compared to the previous start, which was 6 furlongs. I really like when horses pick up the tempo. Number 2, Assad has a plus early pace edge, as I mentioned, at 4 furlongs. And this one gets really, really brave, Terry, if he's on the lead heading into the stretch. Real nice mid-move last time out. And the mid-move in these 6, 6.5, 5, 5.5 furlong races is really an important part of the race when they're coming out of that turn. Number 7, Wild Union, is the lone PC horse in the field, as we mentioned in the pace worksheet. Wouldn't be surprised to see him step on the gas out of the gate this time around, considering there's not a whole lot of early speed in front of him, and showed much improvement in the second half of its last start. Finally, Political does have the most late pace in the group, did run the top last race speed figure, and making his first start for trainer Miguel Rodriguez off of the claim, which is a 16% winner for Mr. Rodriguez. Race 4, hold on one second before we go on to race 4. Let's talk about Charles. Off the Med says, we'll get first run at hot pace, should improve today. 6-6 daily double for Charles for races 2 and 3. Mohammed, good to see you again. Hope you had a fantastic weekend along with everybody else. And on to race 4 we go. Terry, this one is a 1 mile and 70 yards on the dirt track. Pay attention to this because I think there's 3 or 4 races at 1 mile and 70 yards today. So keep an eye on race 4. It could give you some hints to what to expect a little bit later on in the card. And at 1 mile, 70 yards, 227 times they've tried it, 166 times a horse that was first, second, or third at the quarter mile marker went on to win. 27 of those were wire-to-wire types. You do get a small inside 3 bonus here. 4 and out is a little bit below par. And our pace worksheet could give us the winner in this race, Terry, because when we look at this race here, number 3 is Lone Speed. Everybody loves Lone Speed, Terry. And when I put together the early pace, late pace combination, he doesn't get 1 check mark. He doesn't get 2 check marks. He doesn't get 3 check marks. He gets 4. Means his score is 20 points higher than the next closest horse, Terry. And if you look at this race, too, the shape should set him up pretty well. The 1 and the 6 want to pressure. Everybody else wants to close. The 4 horse over here has never been close. I think if the 3 horses odds don't go down, Terry, something is wrong with the horse, like it's injured. If that's the case, well, it won't do very well as my best bet, but you also have it as your top pick.
I do. I like number 3, Night Legend. He finished 3rd versus Tougher in his last race. He drops in class today, and he should improve with blinkers being added today. And then I like number 1, Blowing Big Smoke. The rail post is winning at an 18% clip. He drops in class today, has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. And the jockey in the last 7 days have been in the money 10 out of 14 times, 4 wins, 4 seconds, 2/3. And then number 2 is my 3rd pick, Grazedly. He drops in class today, has the highest last speed rating, and has a trainer and a jockey combination who in the last 14 days, as I said before, has won 3 out of 4 starts. Then number 4 is my 4th pick, Liberty Runner. He drops in class today, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters.
And beyond my best bet, number 3, Night Legend, I got number 2, Grazedly, as you mentioned, did run the top last reach speed figure, does drop in class. And I like that combination, Terry. But I also like the combination of jockey Jeremy Laprida and trainer Felix Coba Flores. Those 2 have run 20 times together. They won 8 of them. That's a nice number, 40%, I think, right? And they have a $2.26 positive ROI. Blowing Big Smoke, Terry, you always got to put together. You're at Parx. You see Jamie Ness, Ruben Silvera on the past performances, the jockey trainer combination. You kind of got to circle that one and put him in there. But that last 2 races for the horse were kind of bad, so he's going to have to bounce back in this spot. And then finally, number 5, Prince Champ, is the top late pace runner in the field. I think that's enough to place him over the rest of this race, which quite frankly, in my opinion, isn't a whole lot, right?
That's right.
Rich, I really like your chance to hit this early pick 4 and daily double and pick 3. Bet them all, folks. Early first race is the most competitive in the sequence. Yeah, we're going to do our early pick 4 in races 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll get to that in just a second. But before we get on to race number 5, Terry, race number 4 was my best bet of the day. And you could tell us who also makes best bets of the day, Terry.
Oh, the professor does.
Mm-hmm.
He does a really good job. Yeah, he's been doing parlays here lately.
Yeah, he's been going on the parlay train because he moved the plays of the day off to the side there. So looking at the free parlays of the day so far, he's got 7 wins, 4 losses. He's up 3.75 units for a 33% ROI. I'm going to tell you a quick story about the professor, Terry, if you don't mind. Okay. Before I go on to the story, you can go down to the link in the description here on Facebook, also on YouTube. Again, while you're on YouTube, if you haven't done so, please hit the subscribe button. We greatly appreciate all your support. Help us get over 2,000. We'd greatly appreciate getting that milestone. You can watch the professor's entire video. You can see a link down there as well for all of his plays today. But I went to go watch the Canelo fight with Triple G on the weekend, and my nephew was sitting next to me. He likes to play the sports. Doesn't really do the horses, though I try to convince him to do it. But, he likes the quick action, and he watches the stuff on TV. So he's telling me about how he bets, and I told him a little while ago how he makes all of his plays with the professor. Yeah. And he was like, man, this guy, I can't believe it. And I was like, yeah, I told you we work with him. He's like, you do? You know the professor? I'm like, yeah, I know the professor. Did you ever hear him talk about horse racing today? He's like, oh, yeah, I do. I said, well, that's me. He's like, oh, God, I forgot. So him and my brother-in-law and like this whole group of folks out here play the professor's picks. Wow. He was telling me all about it. So Be like my nephew, be like my brother-in-law. Well, yeah, be like my nephew and go ahead and play the no, Enrique's a great dude too. I'm just kidding. Go ahead and play the professor's picks because I mean these guys are really they really are sold on it. All right, race 5, Terry. Enough of that. And we don't get anything from the professor other than a mention. So that's hopefully it works out well for everybody as well. Race 5 at Parx is going to be a 6 furlong race. Again, you want to be fast. You probably don't want to be on the rail. Those are the two things that most likely are going to point to your winner. Along with that, maybe our pace setup will point to the winner. I feel like there was a very important scratch in this race, Terry. The 3 horse was a left arrow horse. We both had him in our picks. Mm-hmm. He gets nixed. The 1 and the 5 in the short field are likely to be on the lead now. 5 probably moves over here. 1 can play tag along. The 4 as a pressure closer horse, he can decide if these guys go too fast, I'll go this way. If they go too slow, I'll join the party. I don't know. I think with only a couple of horses, the pace likely not to get too fast, Terry, and the 2 front runners probably have a good chance. You like the 4 horse in here.
I do. Rainbow Trout. She likes Parx Racing, finishing the money 3 out of 4 starts there, and she won one of those. She does well at today's distance, and she switches to high percentage winning jockey. And then I like number 2. She talks too much. She finished 3rd versus similar in her last race, has a good trainer and jockey. And then I like number 1, Aruma. She won her last race at Parx Racing, and her jockey in the last 7 days has a record of 3 wins, 3 seconds, and a 3rd in 9 starts. And then number 6, Advocate Harbor. She drops in class today and may improve while returning to a sprint.
Yeah, there were a couple names in here today, Terry. I was like, yeah, no. But for me in race number 5, I'm like you. I'm going to start with Golden EIB Microphone is, I guess, a hat tip. Well, no, you didn't start. You didn't even have the 5 in there. I hope he's not scratched, but
well, he's my fifth choice. So.
All right, so that's a hat tip to the since deceased Rush Limbaugh. But anyway, this one should be the pace setter after 4 furlongs. Does have the top early pace and late pace combination with better 2 and 4 furlong fractions in its last effort. Number 1, Aruma, was better across the board last time out, meaning if you look at the past performances and you see the pace numbers, the 2 furlong number, the 4 furlong number, and the late pace number were all an improvement off the prior start. The horse has run at the distance 5 times, 2 wins, and a 3rd. You throw the horse at any other length. He's done it 4 times, and like Terry and I, doesn't have a single win. Number 4, Rainbow Trout. Used to catch a lot of those as a little kid, Terry. Go fishing over there in the Delaware River right outside of Easton, Pennsylvania. It's a little bit of a waterfall and just catch where the water pools. As those fish wait for the minnows to come tumbling down defensively over the waterfall. And so you would trick them a little bit. And I catch myself some rainbow trout. Anyway, this one has been making its first start off a layoff or its debut. It's done that 6 times, and 5 of those times it's finished in the money. And that was a tough call between the 6 and the 2 for me. Advocate Harbor scratched into this spot, so that's the horse that gets the 4th pick for me in race number 5. Charles mentions parlays are kind of tough to hit because there's no margin for error, and horse racing is the game in town. I think one of the things, Charles, about that makes it difficult is a lot of sports bettors don't understand the mutual pool side of betting, right? They're used to the binary. It's either happens or doesn't happen, and what my odds can change, they don't get that. So I think horse racing and folks like us have to do a better job of explaining that horse racing is much like poker. You're playing against the other bettors after the house takes their cut and the government takes their cut. And then the more information that you have, you're more likely to have an edge over the other bettors, which hopefully we can help you achieve here with Terry and I, Charles and I, in our morning shows where we make picks.
Yep.
Race 6, the last leg of our hot dog pick for Terry, 5.5 furlongs. So you got to be fast in this one, Terry. The math was really easy for me here, which I'm grateful for. They've done it 100 times, and 77 of which were horses that were, speed horses in the first 3 at the first call. But 49 of them went wire to wire. So 49 out of 100, almost 50%. You better be forwardly placed. There is an outside to inside bias. So 1, 2, and 3, there is a little bit of a penalty. 4 and out, you get a little bit of bonus. Let's see if we can identify who the fast one's going to be here, Terry. Well, with the 3-horse scratching in this leg as well, and this is another one that I feel like was going to have an impact on this race. But all but the 7 have similar early pace and late pace numbers. So I think this is going to be, so this one maybe is a toss out. I don't know. This is going to be a highly, highly, highly competitive spot to close out this pick 4, Terry. Go ahead and tell us how you see it in race number 6.
Well, I like number 8, Walk Me Home. She finished in the money in 7 out of the last 8 races, so she likes to be in the mix of things. She won 2 of those starts, drops in the class today. She has a trainer wins 50% of the time when dropping down a horse 2 plus classes. And then number 6, Sizzlin' Roma. She finished 3rd versus Tougher in her last race at Parx Racing, and she switches to high percentage winning jockey. 3rd pick is number 5, Miss Mimi, or Mai. She drops in class today, and her trainer wins 50% of the time when he drops a horse off of a claim. She has the highest last speed rating, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Then I like as my 4th pick, number 4, Oceano Razzo. She has a high percentage winning trainer who in the last 14 days been in the money 5 out of 7 times, winning 3 of those, and a trainer who wins 35% of the time in the 2nd race after claiming a horse.
You and I agree on the front end and the back end. We both have the 8 as our top pick, the 4 as our 4th pick, and then flip the 5 and the 6 around in the middle. Walk Me Home has been at Parx 12 times, 3 wins, 3 seconds, 3 thirds, including an easy win, the only time it ran at 5.5 furlongs at Parx. Dropping down a couple of classes in here. Does have a few maintenance works between races. It should be, like I said, I think this race is wide open. The only one you could toss out is the 7. So guess who's going to win? The 7.
Yeah.
Number 5, Miss Mimi did run the top last race speed figure, making the first start off the claim for trainer Robert Moscow, who hits at 19% the first time he brings a claimed horse around the track. This horse has been off since February. But if you look through the past performances, did have a similar break around 9-10 races ago, and then came back to win after a long time in the barn. Number 6, Sizzling Roma is dropping a couple of classes at least, and trainer Ronald Dandy does win 4 out of 12 when making multiple class drops. Finally, Oceano Rosso. This is the Italian race, I guess, right? Miss Mimi, Miss Sizzling Rosso. Oceano Rosso and Roma. Not the biggest fan of the Penn to Parx angle here for sure, but does have some Parx success. Trainer Miguel Rodriguez has won 7 of 20 races. Terry, some quick math says that's 35% winner. A second off the claim for Mr. Rodriguez. And this is also the end of our hot dog pick 4, Terry, right? And
correct. Yeah.
It is kind of semi a race of death, but not for pick 4s because race number 6 also kicks off the Philly 5 today. Let's take a quick look at our hot dog pick 4s, Terry. I went ahead and singled the 3 in race number 4. I bought 4 horses in the first leg. As I mentioned, if that 3 horse is not a big favorite, something's wrong with it. You did like the really fat, juicy hamburger with 2 on the top, on the bottom, and then 3 in the middle.
That's right. It's a double cheeseburger. So
with bacon or no?
Yeah, with bacon. You got to have all the trimmings.
Yes.
No onions, though.
Yes, you gotta harden those arteries almost immediately after ingesting it, right?
Yep.
I like the 5 Charles horse. I like 5 Rich and Terry race 6. Horse should come in form today in race number 6. We both have the 5s. Just mixed them up a little bit between the 2 of us. All right, Terry, let's power on. Let's see if we can maybe get through this before the first race. Race number 7 is 1 mile and 70 yards on the turf. It's an optional claiming. $16,000. The track is fast. The turf is firm. So I don't think we should get any more weirdo scratches in here, Terry. Race number 7 at 1 mile and 70 yards on turf. They've done it 27 times, 18 of which were won by horses that got towards the front. So you got to kind of like that. 9 of the 27 went wire to wire. Most of the post positions are pretty fair. There's a very small discount at 8 and out. So I don't really think where you line up really makes a difference. I think where you line up early on in the race, your position is likely to make a difference. So let's check out how they might line up in race number 7. The 2 horse, 4 horse, both MTOs. So they're outie. Not a problem here. The 5 horse, which is a pressure horse, is likely to put some pressure on the 10 for the lead, but the 10 also has the top late pace numbers in the field. So if he can get the lead and use those late legs, as I say many times, it's hard to pass what you can't catch. And if you look at this race, the 12, the 1, the 7, the 11, the 6, the 10, the 5, in that order, rank from best to worst, all have some similar early pace and late pace numbers, which again tells me we're looking at a very competitive race for race number 7, Terry.
Yeah, I think so. It's really competitive. Number 7's my first pick, board certified. He comes in from Monmouth Park after finishing third against Similar in his last race. And the trainer wins 25% of the time in a horse's first start with this trainer. And then number 5, Recycle, my second pick. He ran second in his last race. He has a trainer wins 20% of the time when bringing a horse back that was a beaten favorite. And then number 10, T-Rex. He was beaten only a length and a quarter versus Tougher in his last start. Drops in class today. His best turf speed is fastest among today's starters. And his jockey in the last 7 days has done very well. 4 wins out of 14 starts. And then number 6, my fourth pick, Bob and Our Mist. He finished third versus Similar in his last race. Has the highest last speed rating at today's distance. And his best turf speed is fastest among today's starters.
So for me in race 7, Terry, I'm going to start in his mile and 70-yard affair on the turf course with number 5, Recycle. As we already know, he is a left arrow horse. As you mentioned, he just missed in that last race. Did run some better fractions in that narrow miss, and he's been on the Parx turf course a couple of times with a win and a third. T-Rex, I'm not a fan of the outside draw. I don't think it's that bad. Not a deal killer. Does have the top late pace number and was way, way, way better in the stretch last time out. I think the drop in class here is probably a benefit as well. Number 7, board certified. That's probably something I am just in the wrong way, Terry. Is track dropper from Monmouth and Gulfstream Park. He did run. If you look, you'll see there was a run at Parx. That was on dirt. Didn't seem to care for the Philadelphia dirt. So they move him over to turf this time, which seems to be the preferred surface. Could step up nicely according to his resume in the second start after a layoff. And then finally, number 6, Bob and Our Mist was a tough call between the 6 and the 1 for me. The 1 is more consistent. So when you look at the speed numbers, there's a high floor and a low ceiling, whereas the 6 horses numbers are all over the place. So he can go peaks and valleys. So when given a choice between the 2, I'll take the one that appears to have more upside and cross my fingers that today is the day that it shows that upside, Terry.
All right.
Let's see. Jose Camaraco says the 1 horse sticking out his tongue, race 1. Is that race over already, Terry?
No, it's another 5 minutes.
All right. So maybe he's got, he's like in the movie Back to the Future. He has tomorrow's newspaper today.
Could be.
I would love to get tomorrow's newspaper today. Somehow I'd probably still lose a photo. All right. Race number 8, Terry, is your box it up. This one, as we mentioned earlier, there's quite a few of these races at a mile and 70 yards. I think there's like 2 in a row here, maybe 3 in a row. Mile and 70 yards so far. They've run at 227 times. 166 were won by horses that were labeled as early speed. 27 went wire to wire. There is a small inside 3 bias, and there's a little bit of a penalty from 4 and out. Again, not deal killers at here all, Terry. Race number 9's pace worksheet, race number 8 pace worksheet. The 6 horse is not in this race, so that gives us almost a symmetrical look. The 1 and the 9 ought to compete for the early lead, so those are likely to be your pace setters. I guess the 1 would probably have the advantage on the inside draw there. The 7 horse does have the most late pace and has the top early pace, late pace combination in the field. If the pace is right, the horses up front should stay there and hit the track bias, Terry. This is your box it up. Tell us why you like these. I was going to do this one too, but you stole it from me again, Terry. Why is this your box it up?
Well, I like this number 4. It first of all, I think that there's a lot of open racing. I mean, openness in here. I mean, I don't think there's going to be any hard favorites. So number 4, Elusive Rider, drops in class today. Has a trainer wins 33% of the time when taking a horse from turf to dirt, and a jockey in the last 7 days, as I said repeatedly has done very well. 10 in the money out of 14 starts. Then number 7, Isabella Smile. She was claimed and finished 4th after coming in the stretch, but she was really wide. Her trainer wins 23% of the time in the second race after claiming a horse. And then number 5, I'm a Cocoa Pebbles. She finished in the money in 3 of her last 4 races, finishing 3rd versus similar in her last race. And then number 9, she knows the drill. She ran 2nd versus Tougher in her last race, drops in class today, has a really good workout on September 10th.
Again, that's a superfecta box, trifecta box, exacta box, 4 horses, hoping to cash every single way there, Terry. That is the game plan. Anyway, for me I don't know what happened here. Race number 8, not my box it up, but I also like the 4 horse. Elusive Rider does have the top last race speed figure in here, Terry. Is flipping from turf to dirt. Put the 2 words together, and it does make turt. Danny Velasquez is a winner 10 of 30 times when taking horses off the grass, putting them back on natural Mother Earth. Number 7, Isabella Smile, second off the claim for trainer Alexander Martinez. He wins at 23% when doing that and has a plus ROI of $2.51 for this horse with the top last race speed figure. Number 1, Homedale Park should be the pilot or the co-pilot. Doesn't look like it on paper, but if you dig a little bit deeper, you do see there was some improvement over the previous start. And then finally, number 9, She Knows the Drill, ran faster fractions last time out, maybe too fast, Terry. And I don't think they're going to have to go as fast today. The right fractions in here, and She Knows the Drill could know a wire-to-wire win. Let's see. Behuma, Venezuela. All right. Hopefully everything is well in Venezuela for you today, Jose. It's nice and sunny in Chicago. Is it still heat wave for you, Terry, in California there?
No, we had a little rain yesterday. Cooled down quite a bit in the 70s, so that's really good.
Beautiful weather.
Yeah.
All right, Terry, you know what this is? It's a war. It's the battle of Terry's best bet versus my long shot in race number 9. I like to do this. Like I'll avoid Terry's box it up. I'll avoid some other his best bets, but I won't avoid a nice battle between the long shot and the best bet for Terry and I. Race number 9 is another one of those mile and 70-yard races on the dirt, as we mentioned. You want to be fast. It looks to me like inside's a little bit better than outside. Terry at 9 for a mile and 70 yards on the main track there. Looking at this race, we did get a couple scratches here too. I don't think they're all that impactful. Maybe the 8 being impactful with some of the best late pace numbers in the field. The 9 maybe would have been a part of the early pace. Put a little bit of pressure on the 6. That looks like it's going to be the one that gets on the lead. What I like here is the 11 horse is going to, I think, get a really good trip. It is the lone EP horse, meaning if these guys go too slow, he's just going to say, see you later. And if they go too fast, just sit behind them and then go ahead and pounce for the W late. That's why it's my long shot. That's why it's going to beat Terry's 3, the best bet. And Rich is going to conquer Terry today. Tell me why I'm wrong.
All right. Well, I like the number 3 horse, Super Dude, because, he finished in the money.
You're a super dude, Terry.
That's
you
right.
always pick horses named after you.
I do. Anyway, he's finished in the money in 3 out of his last 4 races, and he won 2 of those starts. He ran 2nd versus Tougher in that last race. He has a high percentage winning trainer who in the last 14 days has been in the money 5 out of 7 starts, 3 wins. Number 10, Wentz. He won his last race at Parx Racing. His best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. He's got a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. And the jockey in the last 7 days, as I've repeatedly said over and over, has won 4 out of 14 starts, 4 seconds, 2/3. And then number 11, Your Long Shot. He lost his marbles. I hope he doesn't today. But anyway, he finished in the money in 3 out of 5 races at Parx Racing. He won 2 of those, and he's dropping in class today. Number 4 is my 4th pick, Hold the Flight. He has won 2 out of the last 4 races, including the last one at Penn National.
All right, Terry, before I go on to my picks, they're running out of the chute right now.
Yep, I
at
see.
Parx, and you got the 5-horse Decology. Well, put the glass down. Looks like it's on the lead, followed closely by the 6-horse Decology. The 2-horse is on the outside with the 1 on the rail at 25-1. opening quarter in 22-4. And around the turn they come. Looks like the 1 is starting to tire a little bit. The 3 and the 4, the jockeys are making their move. The 2 just ducked down to the rail, Terry. It's now going inside the 6 horse, so he looks like he's going to pass the 6. The jockey is all out on the 6. Think he's going to tire. So now it looks like a 2-horse race to me. The 5 horse on the lead with the 2 horse the jockey's trying to corral him. I don't think they're catching this 5, Terry. He's going all the way. So it looks like it's going to go 5. Yeah, the 6 is re-rallying on this 2 horse though, Terry. So it's going to go 5, 2, 6, and 3.
Yep.
That's the order. 5, 2, 6, and 3 in that opening leg, Terry. All right. So we both have the top 4 picks in our order. Probably good news that the 5 horse beat the 2, but they went off at, well, no, the 6 horse was the favorite at 9-5. So yeah, it probably pays a little bit. Too bad we didn't box that one up right off the jump, right?
Yeah, it would have been nice.
So it was good to see though that speed right there. Terry Charles says, I'm a Cocoa Pebbles. I guess that's Cocoa Pebbles versus Cocoa Puffs. He is a standout in race number 8. I like the 11 horse in race number 9, Terry, as my long shot in here. As I mentioned, he is the lone EP horse in the field. That means he's got a lot of versatility. Many people think the EP horses are the best horses in horse racing. I think it's a toss-up between the EP and the pressure closers, the ones that can either get to the lead or close. You have to ignore that last race, though, Terry. It's going to be making the second start off the bench for trainer Joseph Taylor. It's a 24% angle for him. Number 10, Wentz. They probably named him after Carson Wentz. Now he's a commander, so they want to probably change that name. Was better at 1 mile and 70 yards with its final time in its last race versus the previous start at 1 mile and 70 yards. Jamie Ness and Ruben Silvera, there's that combination again for a horse that's run at Parx 24 times and collected wins in 8 of them, 2 seconds and 4 thirds, so it does like to win. Staying in the claiming ranks for Ness, which is a 33% winning angle, which as much as he wins, that's still an alpha angle. Normally he runs around 29%, so he bumps up the winning percentage in this case. Number 3, Terry, or also known as Super Dude, does have the top late pace in the race and the top early pace, late pace combination. A little bit better fractions in that last race, despite going a little bit longer, 70 yards. Finally, Hold the Fight. Fast dirt seems to be the surface it prefers, running 5 times, 2 wins and a third, usually in the money, first off a layoff, just like today. And then finally, Terry, let's see. Jay, yes, it went 5. The first race went 5, 2, and 6, if I think correctly. If 5, 2, 6, and 3 was the way that order figured out in race number 1.
Yes.
Our last race is race number 10, Terry. Thanks for joining in, Jay. If you have any picks, anybody has any horses that they like at Parx today or any track, this is a community. We're all trying to find more winners. Sean and I and Jared, we did some NFL picks on Sunday. We all lit it up, Terry. I went 5-0.
Oh, right.
Sunday. Made up for my horrible start to the year where I was 2-5, I think, which was not the way I like to start, but now I'm back into the profit zone. So I got to appreciate that. Yes, 5 was your winner for sure. Yeah, got to the lead, stayed on the lead. So maybe speed's going to hold up there today at Parx. So keep an eye on that. See if speed does hang on. All right. Finally, Terry, race number 10 is 1 mile and 70 yards on the turf. So we talked about the profile of a winner once before. They've done it 27 times, 18 of which were 1, 2, or 3 at the quarter-mile marker. 9 went wire to wire. Mostly fair, though. You do get a slight discount and 8 and out. Race number 10, Terry, is your long shot. But before we find out why is your long shot, this race got a bunch of scratches too, but they were really all mostly horses that were MTO, so they're all out. All the MTO outs. The 15 did scratch in. Terry liked the 16, but unfortunately, he was one of those late scratches that caused us to start a little bit later than we want to. 2 horse is a left arrow horse. The 4 horse is another left arrow horse. So I'd be surprised if the 1 or the 6 were actually the pace setters. Take us home, Terry, to close the show with your long shot.
All right. Well, in race number 10, I like number 9, Skillful, as my long shot. He finished in the money in the last 10 races. He won 2 of those starts, and his last race was won at Monmouth Park. And I like number 10, my second choice, Pretty Good Year. He finished 3rd versus similar in his last race, has a high percentage winning trainer, Jamie Ness. switches to high percentage winning jockey Ruben Silveira, who in the last 7 days has won 4 out of 14 starts. And then number 4, Sound the Charge, throw out his last race as he had a lot of trouble in that race. He has finished in the money in 3 out of 5 races at Parx Racing. He won 2 of those and has a high percentage winning trainer. And then number 3, Inequality. He only need to repeat his last race where he won at Parx Racing and has finished in the money in all of his starts here.
All right. Yeah, that's a good thing. 100%, right? You got to love
Mhm.
100% angles. Just a quick update. $2 exacta 5-2. Not bad. $19.20 for 2 horses that were both 2-1. Got to like that, right?
That is good.
Yes. And then the trifecta for the 5-2-6 for 50 cents. Paid $11.60. So you almost made as much money on the exacta. 10-cent superfecta box, 5, 2, 6, and 3, $4.12. A tiny profit there. Looks like the best bet in there of that combination would have been the exacta. Race 10, my final set of selections today, Terry. Number 8, Trilogy, is my top choice. Is just a half a length away from Terry's favorite betting angle of all, the hat trick. So I'm kind of surprised that Terry doesn't have that guy in there. Does catch a weight break and stretching out today, so maybe the stretch out turned Terry away. Well, number 3, Inequality, ran on the Parx turf 4 times, 2 seconds and 2/3. First off, go ahead.
Rich, I need I hate to break your bubble, but I think the 8 was scratched. That's why I don't have it in there.
The 8 was scratching that last leg? Did I scratch? He is scratched out. Oh, great.
Yeah.
That screws up everything for me. All right, so then the 3 horse is, well, my bubble has popped, Terry.
I'm sorry. And that's why I don't have the 8 in there, because I like the 8.
All right. Well, that explains why all my picks are going to be goofed up now. All right. But anyway, I also like the 3 horse Inequality, as I mentioned, on Parx turf 4 times, 2 seconds, 2 wins in 2 seconds. Number 2, Uncle Andrew, left arrow horse, better early fractions in its last time out. Been on the turf 16 times, been in the money, 11 of those with 4 wins and a 2nd and 6/3. So maybe the one that's going to clean up the gimmicks. Number 5, 15, Acker. Should be better in the second start after a long layoff, according to its resume, and does have better pace numbers for 2 and 4 furlongs last time out. And then, Terry, my next pick in here is going to be, let me just change these around. I have the 10 horse as my 4th selection. So that closes that out. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Philly 5. And remember, I missed the scratch there. So my bubble was popped by Terry. Thank you, Terry.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I know you love to have the opportunity to correct me. All right. So let's go at the, let's look at here. Here is our pick 5 again for me. Instead of the 8, I have the 3 and the 2 in that last leg. Mine's $81. Terry doing a little bit like it looks like the letter E to me, right? It's the E pick 5.
Yeah, it is. That's pretty cool.
So does the E stand for easy?
It does. Yeah. Easy. Easy peasy.
Easy winner, we hope. And then again, the the prime rib pick 4 for Terry and I look like this, a little bit bigger budget. Again, the 8 is out for me, so it's going to be 3, 2, 15, and 10. Mine is the $96 variety. Terry's is the $80 variety. One more time, our full picks today, Terry, look like this. Our hot dog pick 4, which I didn't get any bubbles bursted in. I'm counting on that 3 horse winning race number 4. Trying to get a little bit of a price maybe in race number 3, and then having some depth as we close out. Terry's going to go 2, 3, 3, 2, as he called it, a double cheeseburger with bacon, just free of onions.
Yep.
Our box it up, Terry, look like this. Race number 2 for me. So my box it up is coming up. I got the 6, the 5, the 3, and the 7, hoping to hit just like race number 1 in exacta, trifecta, and superfecta box. Terry's going to try his luck in race number 8. Our pick 5s, Terry, again, mine's going to be 3 and 2 in race number 10 because the 8 is scratched. I don't know how I missed that. Terry's got the E for easy winner. And then our hot dog, our prime rib pick 4s to close up the day. Again, the 8 is gone for me, replaced with the 10 in race number 10. So that's easy to remember. Take the 8 out, put 10 and 10. My prime rib and Terry's prime ribs are like that. Terry's best bet is in race number 9. He's competing with my long shot. So it's the battle of the best bets versus long shots. My best bet is in race number 4. Terry's long shot in race number 10. think that kind of wraps up all of the picks for today at Parx, Terry, right?
It does. Yes, absolutely.
All righty. Love the 9 in race number 10 for Charles. Oh boy, I'm in a lot of trouble then because I do not have the 9 there. So I wish both of you luck, but not really. All right. And then finally, if you're going to bet today, a little bit later on at Will Rogers, which is a fun little track, right, Terry? They got usually a lot of races over there. It is our free track of the day today over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There is a link in the description at Facebook and on YouTube. While you're at Facebook or you're following us on Twitter or on Instagram, please hit the like button. Follow us on Twitter. You can see all of our handles down there at Horse Race Today. Just a few people short of 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell so we go live. We got 9 or 10 shows every week. Terry and I do picks in the morning on Mondays and Tuesdays. Charles joins me on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Tomorrow, Terry and I will be doing Horseshoe Indianapolis. On Wednesday, Charles and I will go back to Louisville for Churchill Downs. On Thursday, we'll be doing Belmont at the Big A, whatever that mess is, right?
Yep.
Yes. Saludos to you too. Have a great day down there in Venezuela, Jose. Thanks, Charles, for watching us. We appreciate it. We appreciate everybody watching us. Want to say thank you to William Zayance for the thumbs up again on Facebook. If you agree with him, thumbs up across the board. And I think that wraps everything up, Terry. One final thing. Don't forget to check us out tonight with Sean and I, as we will be at 8 o'clock p.m. with jockey Erica Murray. Looks like it should be a fun show. They're always fun shows, Terry.
They are.
Right.
I like them.
I think that finally wraps everything up.
It does. Yep, absolutely. So
Any
anybody
final thoughts?
Yeah, I just going to say, take it easy. Enjoy your families, get together with them as much as you can, because you don't know what's going to happen anytime at all. And hopefully you have a really good week this week at the races or anything else you do in life.
Well, I say we should do things in 3. So at the end of the show from now, I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to have 3 suggestions, Terry, at the end of the show. My first suggestion is to make somebody smile or laugh today, right?
That's good.
The second one is going to be, I hope that you're the beneficiary of a random act of kindness.
Yeah.
And then finally, the third thing for the day, Terry, is no matter what you do, we hope it can only end up in one place, and that is in the
winner's circle.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us. Everybody have a fantastic Manic Monday.